واعتقد اذا تسمح لي استاذ عبد الرحمن عندنا مداخله الان من الاستاذ الطيب ادم ممثل اليونيسف في منطقه الخليج. تفضل الطيب ادم.
شكرا جزيلا. في البدايه اشكر المنظمين لهذا المؤتمر الهام الخاص بالتعليم، خاصه في الوقت الان نحن يعني نمر بجائحه كورونا وتاثيرها اللي تركته على التعليم. انا افتكر يعني هذا وقت مناسب جدا للتطرق للتعليم، وكما ذكر كمان اخونا الدكتور طارق الدويسان انه التعليم عنصر اساسي في كل المؤشرات الدوليه. انا اعتذر لانه المكالمه بتاعتي او المداخله بتاعتي هي باللغه الانجليزيه، فان شاء الله ما في مشكله.
في ترجمه تفضل.
Okay, thank you so much. First of all, we applaud the steps of the government of Kuwait and the Ministry of Education that have been taken in providing remote education for all children. But we'd like to take this opportunity and this moment to reflect and offer evidence-based strategies and provide recommendations to build back a stronger and more resilient education system. Even before the COVID-19 pandemic, there was already a documented education crisis. The pandemic exacerbated the education crisis, including early school leaving and widening the digital divide. There was a global crisis prior to COVID-19, with over 250 million children out of school and more than half of children in low and middle income countries unable to read for meaning. Today, around 800 million students are still facing major interruptions to their schooling, ranging from across the board school closures in 33 countries to reduced or part-time academic schedules in many others. 2/3 of an academic year has been lost on average worldwide due to COVID-19 full or partial closures. The COVID-19 pandemic revealed and exacerbated the inequalities prevailing across the world, including the deep gender, digital, and connectivity divide. Girls are less likely to access remote learning solutions and at higher risk of never returning to school and more vulnerable to gender-based violence. Malala Fund estimates that 20 million or more secondary school-age girls could be out of school post-crisis. More than 4 million girls could be at risk of early marriage. I think that was some of the points mentioned earlier due to COVID-19. Prolonged school closures due to COVID-19 put previously enrolled children living with disabilities at greater risk of not returning to school. During the school closures, children with disabilities lacked access to specific assistive devices or special education curriculums that allows for remote learning at home and accommodates the child's specific learning needs. The alarming digital divide has been exposed more than ever. UNICEF data shows that at least 463 million children whose schools closed during COVID-19, there was no such a thing as remote learning. Over 3/4 of the children who cannot be reached come from the poorest 40% of households. 2.2 billion, or 2/3 of children and young people under 25 years old, do not have internet access at home. In addressing these enormous challenges, UNICEF began many initiatives working along many like-minded stakeholders. First, UNICEF adopted a system-wide approach to support countries in the COVID-19 response and recovery to ensure continuity of learning for all children, particularly those most marginalized. Through multiple approaches based on context, including remote learning, blended learning, hybrid learning, TV, radio, print, and digital solutions. UNICEF, UNESCO, UNHCR, and the World Bank and WFP actually released a framework for reopening schools and have been working together in supporting governments as they safely reopen schools, while documenting the emerging lessons for country experiences. UNICEF flagship initiative supports governments to, 1, ensure primary schools reopen safely after COVID-19 closures, and children, especially the most vulnerable children, access support to return to school and make up learning losses, including access to mental health and psychosocial support services. 2, mobilize political commitment at the highest level to maintain increased budgetary allocations to education with emphasis on investment in strengthening early learning, data systems, teaching practices, and parental engagement in education. And 3, scaling up intervention that work in developing foundational learning competencies in literacy, numeracy, and life skills for learning and providing remedial support to prevent long-term learning loss. 4, support school systems, especially teachers, in regular assessing and supporting children through class-based assessment, teaching at the right level, and teaching reading and math in languages children understand. Second, through the Reimagine Education Initiative. That's a new UNICEF actually initiative which came out actually after COVID-19 or as part of the response to COVID-19. UNICEF aims to reach all children and young people by 2030. That's around 3.5 billion. 500 million by the end of 2021 with digital learning solutions. And to this end, we have joined forces with ITU, which is the International Telecommunication Union, to launch GIGA. GIGA is a school connectivity project. It's a project that aims to ensure that all schools globally are connected with internet. An ambitious global initiative to connect every school and its surrounding community to the internet. Third, UNICEF continues to leverage a wide range of partners at global, regional, and national level with the public and private sector. I remember there was been a discussion about the private sector. 2, first, ensure schools are among the first to reopen as societies are reopening and all children return to learning, including the most marginalized and most at risk, providing holistic packages of support, including mental health and psychosocial support, mobilize political commitments, and scaling up intervention, as I've just mentioned. It is with that lens UNICEF is leveraging this opportunity to support governments, especially like the government of Kuwait, as we discussed today, to rethink education. We have once in a generation up the opportunity to drive transformative change in education on a global scale for every child and young person and deliver a modernized education system. To reimagine
شكرا عفوا استاذ ادم، عفوا لضيق الوقت.